Hello, I'll try to show you how to configure a Rapidflow profile from scratch. First, you open Rapidflow page. As you can see, I have a bunch of profiles here already. To add a new profile, simply click Add Profile. You have to provide title. I guess you would like to have it enabled. The action or profile type can be either import or export. In this case, we'll demonstrate how an export of products works. We'll export products. You can have the rest, products extra, EAV structure and categories only if you're using Rapidflow Pro. Here you can choose among your store views. Admin means default. File location will leave that empty by default. File name will be products.csv. Since I don't want to see notices about success, I just want to be warned if something is wrong. I'll just leave warnings. Next we do save and continue. Now here we can set various options. For example, if you want to upload, in this case, the file or FTP server, you can choose FTP here and add your credentials, that's host name or domain name, port, username, password, and path on the server. You can choose either passive or active modes, transfer file as text or binary. In this case, we'll work on local server, so we don't need any of this. Format options, these are options for formatting CSV file. Here, if you have some strange encodings in your files, you can choose your source formatting and it will be converted to UTF-8. That is for imports only. On exports it does not do anything. Now when you're converting, there are cases when a character is met which is not legal, and you can do a few options. One is just warn and leave it as it is, try to transliterate it and cut it off. This will be appropriate if we were converting. Next, this is field delimiter. This is by default that's comma, which is used in comma separated value files. Field enclosure, that is double quotes by default. If you have too many double quotes and you're afraid of errors because of that, you can change it to something else, whatever you like. And this is default multi-value separator, which is not a CSV value or CSV formatting option, and that is separator used when you have multiple values in your import or export files. Multiple values can be categories, for example, category IDs, category names, multiple category hierarchies, or product websites, different things. Now in export options you can choose either to export or not image files. If you select yes, all image files will be stored in this file location into an images subfolder. Now you can also choose to export image values in the export file as URLs, as URLs in HTTPS, secure URLs, which is sometimes useful for sharing them with external commercial services. Whether to export invalid values, which is for example missing files. If you just want to export the value which is in database without worrying about images, you can choose yes here. You can export uh, internal values, which are, instead of exporting, for example, product status as enabled, you can export it as 1, like a digit, which is the internal representation of the value. Should configurable products quantity be calculated as a sum of their subproducts or not? Again, useful probably for external commercial services. For pricing, should the prices be exported as they are in database or add tags to them? And add markup, that's a percent by which you can increase prices. Next, you can choose which you may, if you don't choose any column here, all of these will be exported. If you're relocating store, you may want to leave it like this, or if you want something special, just a summary of the data, you can choose what to export. You can choose export cost, any other attribute. You can select multiple and click add columns. Here you have title alias, which is the title of the column, of the resulting column. If you don't want to call it cost, you can call it value, for example. That will be the title of resulting column. And you can set a default value here, which means if the product has no cost assigned, default value of 100 will be assigned to it. And you can set formatting here. %.4f means export the value with 4 digits after decimal point. If you're exporting, for example, base image, which is image, you can choose to export its raw value or export it as URL. If you choose to export it as URL, then this option becomes valid. If you choose to export raw value, then changing export images URLs as HTTPS makes no difference. Also, in case you want to export to add some value, some constant value to the file which is not related to the store in any way, but it's like custom code, for example, and you can set it here, and that will be added to each row of the export. Or another thing is that you can add custom function column, which also can be added here. Just set it as custom. That will be the title of the column, and here you have to provide a valid callback. A valid callback is provided in the form of Magento class name, like my module, my model, double colons, and then my method name. My method name should return a string, which will be placed in the field custom. Last is export conditions. They work pretty much as promotion conditions. You can choose to export only products which match all or any of the following conditions, if they are true or false, whatever you choose. So you can choose to add, for example, to export any product, which category is, and that could be test. When you're ready, you just click save and run. Profile is saved, and here you get for status tab, which says what is done. In this case, it couldn't find any products which match here the conditions. Okay. When it finds some products, it starts working, and as you can see, the speed is nice. In this case, it's only reading rows and then writing into file, which is why it's quite fast. When you're importing, it's about 100 rows per second. Here in the profile status tab, you can examine any log messages. If you're very curious about the export, you can click export Excel report. There we go. In this case, none of my products here has actually got an image, but because I requested have them exported and set them to be exported as URLs, just base image URL was exported, which is catalog, media catalog product. Now it happens that I chose attributes which are empty for most products. Here's value, which is the static column we chose to use, so on and so on. Now this file is a report file. This file cannot be used to re-import products. This file is useful just to examine the warnings by fields. You can see any field with a problem has this Excel style comment tooltip that you can examine and take action if you need to, but this is not something that you can import back. Another type of log is the plain log, which has all these messages in itself if you need, but it has them all 29,000, 30,000 messages. So if you want to examine those, just get them. There they are. You can see any warnings by product SKU, and you can check if you really are missing the attribute value or not, or what is wrong at all. So this is it about configuring and running export profile of uRapidflow of Unirgy in Magento. Thank you.